In chapter 372 of Berserk, we are seeing the destruction of Elfhelm from the perspective of Casca as she is being carried away by Zodds. She is then taken to Falconia, the capital of Midland. After the destruction of Ganeshka, a city came up from the ground out of nowhere. It was the old sunken capital of Geiseric's kingdom. We saw it being mentioned when everybody was breaking Griffith out of prison. In this city, it's a peaceful city, where anyone who comes will be given a place to stay, a job, food, and rest. Above the city, there sits Griffith's throne in his castle. Rickard explains in chapter 336, it has a different architectural style than the city below, and as if it were ordered just for Griffith. There, in the castle, we see everything that would have happened after an event like Ganeshka's death. A new religion has formed, with Griffith being the center of it. Princesses and royalty from all around the world gather together to be in Griffith's presence. But deep in the castle, there lies a building, shrouded in darkness, called the Pandemonium. This Pandemonium is the den of the war demons, or as you might know them, more commonly called the Apostles, the very same that participated in the eclipse. There they live and kill beasts and feed their bloodlust. But will they grow tired of killing trolls and monsters? This is where Kaska is, trapped in a dream surrounded by a lie that Griffith created with a dark secret at its center. We don't know how long she has been there, or even if this is her first day. She is kind of stuck in a dream where she doesn't remember who she is or why she is there. First thing, it's sad to see how Guts and team spent all their time trying to get Casca back, and now she is locked in her mind again. She wakes up and is waited on by maids and placed in a dress. She is treated like a princess and waited on. Maybe in Griffith's twisted mind, he thinks this is a good thing. In the moments leading up to the exact moment that Griffith sacrificed everyone, he had a dream. If he continued a life with Casca, there he would be in a house, poor, with Casca, and their son named after Guts. Their dog is also called Pippin. Maybe it's because he's the loyalist one. Instead of giving her this family, he can maybe make her a princess. A life she would have had. It could also be that part of Griffith that is the Moonlight Boy, who is the corrupted son of both Guts and Casca. Is he feeling some motherly protection to his mother? We need to see some more chapters to see if the Moonlight Boy still exists, or maybe it was used to fill Griffith's need. The memories of her old family are growing too powerful, and she is starting to be pulled out of the dream back into reality. There, the Casca we know is trapped in there somewhere. She fights back, grabbing a vase and breaking over some guards, just to grab their sword. She even was able to cut off this guy's arm. Shit. I don't think he's going to be doing much fighting afterwards. As she runs away, she says, "If I don't make it back, then Guts," and gets cut off. Does she know that Guts is facing some pretty dark times right now? Does she know something we don't know? What I can tell you is Casca is trapped in there with Griffith, and even Irvine describes it as the bird now dozes peacefully in her cage. More implying she is trapped in there, and Griffith is seeing this as his prized possession. Now, this could be my little speculation, but I wonder if Sonia, who in previous chapters were able to read minds, somehow is making it so that Casca's mind is trapped. Again, this chapter shows us a lot, but raises more questions than answers. There in the shadows, with his back turned to Griffith, Zodds, who is Griffith's most loyal apostle, stands. Zodds is a unique apostle. Unlike his fellow apostles who partake in debaucheries and everything else, Zodds doesn't. Almost like he has morals. During the eclipse, Zodds stood guard outside of the eclipse, not to defend it, but to wait to try to kill Skull Knight. He and Skull Knight have this rivalry you see throughout the entire series. When we first see him, Littered around him are the bodies of warriors, not civilians. So he almost kills warriors because they themselves decide to attack him, almost like an equal sign of respect. Once he meets his match with Guts, it seems like he respects him so much that he throws Guts his sword when it appears that Guts was about to be defeated. Zod is also the only other apostle that has teamed up with Guts. When Guts cuts at Ganishka, he was on the back of Zod. Could Zod be having doubts what Griffith did? Well, it appears that way. Capturing and locking Casca away like a bird in her cage is something that Zod doesn't do or believes in. This might be the beginning of Zod breaking away, which would be a massive blow to Griffith's army. Zod is one of, if not the strongest apostle. The final pages, Griffith says something really interesting. East. Everything naturally flows according to his will. In chapter 372, we see knights preparing for war by marching in formation. The maid asks, embarking on another campaign. So is this saying that there is another kingdom that needs to be conquered? Maybe another Ganishka? We know from the time we see the world up above that Midland is based on Europe. So when they go east, will they see a kingdom that is like an ancient Russian kingdom, a Mongolian empire, or even something to a Chinese empire? There could be another target that Griffith has its sights on that has been introduced and might be a threat to him. In chapter 209, we are introduced to the four kings. The king of the west, the king of the south, the king of the north, the king of the east. With the destruction of Elfhelm, it's not just a destruction of Guts' home, but a source of magical power. We see something similar when Guts gets his Berserk armor. The destruction of the Spirit Tree is another magical place. Maybe Griffith's bigger plan is not just to win wars, but to destroy magical places to weaken a force of good. The last thing that is said in chapter 372 is everything naturally flows according to his will. And who is this he that he is referring to? In the makeup of the God Hand, the main person is widely considered to be Void, the big-brained person of the God Hand. However, could this be the introduction to the idea of evil? In chapter 82, we are introduced to this entity called the idea of evil, that Miura thought gave away too much of the ending. He ended up removing it from future publications. Will this be the official introduction to the idea of evil, or is this his will to destroy these kings and locations of magic? Maybe the idea of evil is trying to fill the world with more hate, and those areas and kings are making it so that he can't. We will see where the next few chapters takes us. The thing is, it looks like we're in the end game now. We have a central location for everything. The enemies are here. Casca is there. Griffith is there. The world is converging there. It just sucks that Casca was back and now she is taken. Well, we have to wait to see what Studio Gaga has in store for us. Regardless, if this has piqued your interest in Berserk, you gotta read the manga. There is a deluxe edition where the pages are bigger and it's hardbound. The link will be in the description. I'll also throw in a few more links down below for other ways to consume Berserk. Don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff, the liking, subscribing, that type of stuff. Thank you for watching this video, and remember to be good and do good. Bye-bye.